And they're all like that. In my experience, I've had 2 students now, Anita from Ecuador and Natalie from Germany. And what's really great is that they look for adventures. Like they often go bike riding. I never have to drive them. They just get to school every day on their own.
Right, they even get up on their own to go to school.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't have to wake them up.
You don't have to wake them up, nothing.
You don't have to drive
They make
them.
their own lunch, just set the table or helping cook, because it's all new to them. They're learning how to cook American food, so they're really into that. They're really interested in it. That when I go shopping, my exchange daughter always wants to come with me and help me out and see what's in the store, and she's always picking up the items in the Safeway and looking at stuff. And
really, I wouldn't have thought that, but just those mundane things we take for granted.
Yeah.
That's new to them.
Right. And we do take a lot for granted, because Eva Chami, who was my first student 4 years ago, is now a sophomore at UC Santa Cruz. She graduated from Mercy High School in San Francisco and was a junior at Terra Nova. And her country was a communist country until 1992. She was born Muslim, but has never practiced her faith because they could not in their country. And they're learning from us. And we had many political conversations, and the one thing she loved to do, and to this day, we have to watch Jeopardy as a family.
So they're very good students and so forth, so they're screened to make sure that you're getting kids that are responsible. Is that part of the...
We have sister organizations in countries all over the world. There's some countries that we do not have this relationship with, and they cannot come here. The United States actually has some countries that they will not allow students to come from. But the ones that have these organizations, the student and their family apply to go through an application process. They have to take English tests, and they have to be able to do schoolwork at a junior level to be able to come here. They can't have any ESL classes. They have to be successful at an American high school. It's a one-time-in-the-lifetime opportunity to come to America for free, to go to a high school for free. So they go through the screening process, they're accepted, then we get their profiles. And we then I'll download the profiles and the letters from the student and the letter from the family, and then I will try to find host families. The way you find host families is we're hoping through talking to you that some people might be interested. We do articles in the newspaper, word of mouth. I go knocking on my friends' doors.
So you screen the families here too,
yes.
somewhat,
yes.
right? So there's a heavy screening.
There is a heavy.
They go through
on the other
Homeland
side
Security.
And anyone can be. You could be single and take a student.
Yeah.
You don't. It's great if you have children of your own. It doesn't matter how old they are. As you can see in Isabel's family, she has older children. But if you have younger children like yourself, this is a learning experience. I mean, your children get so much out of it. Yeah. And the brother and sister relationship is what becomes. And they do call you mom and dad because you are the authority figure. You are mom and dad.
And then we have a pretty good structure with our organization where coordinators are the liaison between the family and the child. So the child has the ability to go outside the home if they feel uncomfortable or they have needs, and the same with the parents.
So there's support for everyone.
Oh, yes.
Our role is a liaison also with the high school.
Right. Their grades have to be very good grades while they're here, and the State Department mandates that the 2 classes that they cannot choose. They must take is U.S. history, and they must take English literature. They need to know about other great writers, American writers.
That you said they can't get in trouble, and is it because they will get shipped home? Is
That's
that
right.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, this is
So,
a volunteer program. The family does not get compensated. You provide room and board for free for world peace, and so these kids are here as a privilege. So if they get D's or they misbehave in any way with the law, they have to go home. Hasn't been an issue so far, but
We have
Well,
that,
they
no.
tend to be extremely careful about it.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
They don't want to go home, so
Right. So
And
they
you
make
just,
sure.
I mean, what I tell Natalie is, if there's something happening that you're not comfortable, you need to call me right away, and we'll come get you, because you're guilty by association, even if you're not partaking of drinking or whatever. you can't be there. So so they look for other kinds of activities.
That's true, and we're rather strict, and they can't quite understand that because in their country they have so much more freedom. So
in Belgium. In Europe, they do.
In Europe, they do.
In Ecuador, they don't. In Ecuador, the girls are never allowed to be alone with a boy, ever. And Anita assured me, she said that there is no sex outside of marriage for any nice girl, ever, and that you pretty much, you are never with boys.
So somebody sees this program.
Yeah.
They would come, right. I'm sure we're going to put up some.
Well, I can give an example. I put up a flyer at Ocean Shore. A family there called. They have a boy from Belgium named Anthony, who's a wonderful kid. And it's just a great match. It's wonderful. So they called me. I went and interviewed them and took photos and went through the process. And then they started emailing back and forth. And in August, we go meet them at the airport with the family and start the relationship from there.
Before the student arrives, we have a class. They ask questions. What do I do about eating? What do I do? Any little thing that they may have been thinking about, and they bring all that to the table, and it's discussed. And
an orientation. It's a pre-arrival orientation, and then afterwards we have a big picnic or a meeting with all the kids and all the families, and it's called the post-arrival orientation. So the kids hear the rules, the parents hear the rules again, and question and answers. It was pretty fun, huh?
It was a lot of fun.
And they all meet each other. And, they're not really here to hang out with other exchange students. We encourage them to make American friends and immerse themselves in the culture. So we don't have a lot of those picnics, but we have another one at the end of the year, too, to get them ready for going home.
Okay.
And that's the hardest part of all.
Is the going home part.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
Kevin, he's had 4
So you've had 4?
4, well, 1 currently. So, but we've sent 3 home after their ends of their stays, and
the airport is terrible, huh, Kevin?
Yes, it's always the worst part. It's saying goodbye.
Have you stayed in touch with those?
Oh yeah, all of them. In fact, today I found out that my first exchange student became a dad. So I guess technically I'm a grandfather today.
And Edie, it's kind of crazy, but when I started thinking about hosting 2 years ago, my friend said, "Are you nuts? You want another teenager? What do they just think I'm crazy." But it changes. It's an amazing experience. I just knew I wanted to do it for some reason, and I was right. It does. It just opens doors in your heart in ways you just don't expect.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it is doing something for world peace. I really do.
Tell them how they contact you.
I think you're going to have our phone number and our name.
Phone number and name.
Just call either one of us up anytime. Even the high school can give you our numbers.
All right.
I love Oceana. It's a super great high school for these kids. They love them. And if you're interested at all, just call and we'll chat about it and answer any questions.
It's just such a wonderful experience having these kids come to your house. Like I said, they're role models. So it's, a lot of it's just seeing the world, your own world, in their eyes.
That's right.
That's usually the easiest one. We went down to Los Angeles with Julia, who was with us in the fall of this year. And it was just kind of seeing things that I'd seen many times before from her eyes, and she was like just over the top excited about this stuff. And it was just that was kind of really neat to share that part of your world with somebody else.
Right.
And but we had such a good time. It's just at New Year's Eve, at the stroke of midnight, Malta, somehow he's a German boy and he's just real authoritarian, and he marched us all and got us to be in the middle of this huge crowd. We were right in front of Mickey and Minnie Mouse at the stroke of midnight when the first row. We were right in front. The guards were trying to rush us away, but he got us all there. It was amazing. I could have never planned it in a million years.
So you were in Disneyland, I take it, with Mickey Mouse?
Yeah, we were in Disney. We went to Universal Studios, Disneyland, and then we went chasing the stars one day.
Very good.
And so we stopped our van and Natalie jumped out. We saw a postman and we didn't know where anything was. So she and Julia wasn't with us, went and asked the postman, "Can you tell us some addresses?" And he did. He told us where Britney Spears lived. So he was really, nobody can resist the charms of these kids. They're just great. So, and we took them to Alvaro Street, and the oldest street in California. They're easy kids.
Great. Okay, so if you'd like to get involved, please call these ladies and let's see if you can get some kids at your house. Thank you all for coming.
Oh, sure.
And make sure to come and see us on YouTube. And good evening. Thank you.